And, Mr. Speaker, I yield to myself such time as I may consume.
The gentleman is recognized.
Wireless communications services are rapidly growing. Each year, millions of users graduate from basic cellular telephone services to smart telephones that employ a broad range of data services. Those services require far greater bandwidth than traditional cellular telephones. And the data services that are offered through smartphones are becoming ever more sophisticated, often employing full motion video as part of the range of applications that can be made available through the smartphones. The combination of greater smartphone use and far more elaborate applications is placing unprecedented demands on our limited wireless spectrum availability. To meet these growing needs, in the near future, more spectrum must be made available for commercial wireless communications services, and that new spectrum would be made available for auction to the successful wireless bidders. Even the launch later this year of the fourth generation of wireless services by the major cellular service providers using the spectrum that was previously occupied by the television broadcasters for their analog television transmissions will only provide a brief respite with regard to these ever-rising demands for additional spectrum. And so we clearly are compelled to act. Responding to this need, last July, I joined with Chairman Waxman, our full committee ranking member, the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Barton, and my friend and colleague on the subcommittee, our subcommittee ranking member, Mr. Stearns, in introducing the Radio Spectrum Inventory Act, which is before the House this morning. It directs the NTIA in the U.S. Department of Commerce and the Federal Communications Commission to undertake a comprehensive survey of the nation's spectrum and report to us on current spectrum utilization, and include recommendations of which, if any, of the least utilized blocks of spectrum could be reallocated for commercial use or subjected to spectrum sharing with commercial users. The measure is a thoughtful approach to meeting the extraordinary spectrum demands that our nation will soon face. It will produce a timely blueprint for our future decisions about which spectrum should be reallocated for auctions to commercial service providers. Under the bill, within 1 year of the date of enactment, the NTIA and the FCC would also create a website to make the spectrum inventory publicly available. They would report the results of the inventory to the House and Senate Commerce Committees within 2 years of the date of enactment, and that report would include a description of the information that could not be made publicly available for national security reasons. The agencies would also, within 2 years, submit to the House and Senate Commerce Committees a reallocation report that would include a recommendation of which spectrum should be reallocated or otherwise made available for shared access. That recommendation should be updated by the agencies in follow-on reports to the committees, which are to be submitted every other year following the submission of the initial report. Those follow-on reports may be updates to the initial report and not necessarily be top-to-bottom reviews. I want to express appreciation to our colleagues on a bipartisan basis, Mr. Waxman, Mr. Barton, Mr. Stearns, other members of the subcommittee who in our hearing and markup sessions in the subcommittee contributed richly to our dialogue and to structuring the legislation that we have before us this morning. It is a bipartisan measure. All of the committee members have been involved in this constructive exercise, and I want to thank them for their participation. Mr. Speaker, I urge approval of the bill, and I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman from Virginia.